So, a very good morning, participants, and welcome to day 5. And I welcome you all. My name is Vikram Devnath. I'm your host and host for the day. So, we have come to day 5 and day 4. We have learned a lot about prebiotic and probiotic. Dr. Sham has briefed about the importance of gut health. He yesterday briefed about a few very important things like a very few few important points like 90% of the serotonin it actually released from our gut, which actually controls our mood. So we can call gut our second brain. And at the same time, he also talked about that 70% of our immune system is actually resides in our gut. So you know now that how important is gut health. And then Anshuman briefed about the prebiotics, what prebiotic is. It is basically the food for the good bacteria. And he also discussed about a story of 3 very unique fiber, which is resistant maltodextrin. He talked about inulin and guar gum. At the same time, he also discussed about the probiotic and its role in our body and how important probiotics are, how it benefits us. So today's topic is also a very important topic, and the topic is the harsh reality. And it talks about how our food habit, how high fat, how high sugar, or the alcohol or the smoking, these bad habits impact our body, and it has a very negative impact on our body and health. And to discuss about this, we have with us Dr. Sham Ramakrishnan, who is Director of Innovation and Science, leading the emerging market. He is the best person to start the discussion. So I would like to invite Dr. Sham on the virtual stage. Dr. Sham, over to you.
Thank you, Bikram. Good morning to you. Can you see me?
Yes, we can see you. We can hear you.
Great. All right. Okay, and very good morning to everyone. This is an exciting day. And interestingly, one thing I read today was fascinating, that on serotonin, and what they're finding out today is on long COVID, when people suffer from brain fog, what they found out, it was published only today morning, I saw that the serotonin in our gut is controlled. It is not released or not produced in the gut. And that is why people develop the brain fog associated with the long COVID. Think about it, how important our gut is controlling so many things, like what I was explaining to you yesterday. But today's my thought is not about that. Today is a very interesting concept which has been floating in the scientific literature for a long time. It is a concept of leaky gut. Leaky gut, or the compromised intestinal permeability, right? So think about a security fence. Our gut has a lining. That is security fence. It protects all the unwanted materials from going into our blood, right? It has a mucus lining, it has a number of other lines. But what happens in leaky gut is, when the leaky gut happens, these toxic substances which we ingest, or which is converted to toxic substances, or unfinished food particles, and bacteria which we take in, they start leaking into our bloodstream because of the leaky gut, right? And that is well known. That is a well-known phenomenon. In fact, so for me, I thought, hey, that is a concept I should talk to you about today, to show how critical it is to maintain the gut intestinal barrier so that nothing leaks into our bloodstream. Yeah, so that is why. So then I asked the question, why? What triggers this, right? And it is what is now known is that there are 4 or 5 things which triggers the leaky gut. Okay, so leaky gut, or once the leaky gut happens, it starts the bloodstream starts getting inflamed with the bad bacteria, and even the good bacteria goes in, the food particles goes in, the toxic substances go in, so it starts triggering inflammation and results in number of other conditions in the body. So we need to prevent that. So, but the conditions which trigger leaky gut are diet. So consuming high amounts of processed food, sugar, alcohol can irritate the intestinal lining and damage those tight junctions that prevent the material, the bad materials to pass into our blood. So diet plays a most critical role. And today, our speaker will talk to you more about that. Second thing is chronic stress. Stress can weaken the immune system over time, which manages the body's inflammatory response and can lead to increased intestinal permeability. That is also one of the cause of leaky gut. Third, infections. There are certain bacterial infections can damage the intestinal wall, leading to increased intestinal permeability. So that is also a well-known mechanism. The fourth is medication, like antibiotics. Antibiotics completely compromises our gut, right? So of course we need to take antibiotics, but in very controlled way, only with the advice of our doctors or the physicians. They are the ideal person to tell us about the antibiotics. But in addition to antibiotics, certain medications like non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs, like NSAIDs, like ibuprofen, aspirin, naproxen, they all irritate the intestinal lining. So once you start irritating the intestinal lining, that is when the leak starts happening. So therefore, we have to be very careful when you take these drugs, you are having food. So it protects your gut lining to a certain extent. There are certain autoimmune conditions like Crohn's disease and celiac disease can damage the lining of the intestines, leading to leaky gut. And finally, the environmental factors, the exposure to environmental toxins can contribute to leaky gut. So these are 5 or 6 reasons why leaky gut happens, and there are ways for us to prevent the leaky gut. But first and primary is to control our diet and to make sure we are having a healthy diet. So, but I won't go deep into that. Our speaker is going to come into that. So, Bikram, with that, I'll pass the stage to Bikram. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much for those insights. Now, to move on with the discussion, I would like to invite today's speaker, who is Lakshmi Sridhar, and she is Regional Training Manager for South Region, and she has 20 years of experience with Amway, and she was there in Amway from the very beginning when Nutralite was launched in India. So you can understand the experience and the experience of her. So Lakshmi ji, over to you, and rest of you, please help me welcome Lakshmi Sridhar on the stage.
Thank you, Bikram. Thank you. That was very nice introduction in the morning. Thank you so much. And Dr. Shyam, thank you so much for setting up the context so well for this wonderful topic, which is very important to understand, because when we wanted to intentionally do the mindful eating, there are some barriers, and if we can't take off the care of these barriers, this might lead to a big negative impact, as you said, leaky guts, and it may lead to so many other issues. Thank you for setting that context in the morning. Yes, today's topic, my dear friends, is going to be on harsh reality on how high sugar, high fat, processed food, alcohol, and smoking, okay, these can damage our body and health. We all know these are bad, and intentionally none of us are going to take this. But unfortunately, sometimes we miss to understand, we overlook at things and miss to do that, and that could be the reason. Fine. Yeah. Now, before getting into this topic, let us understand, why is this important? My dear friends, if we compare our body with a garden, we all want a garden to be with lovely flowers and great fruits. Fine. That's how we want our garden to be. So when we go and see the garden in the morning, or when we have some people who come and visit our garden, we want to show that with pride. This is the fruit, this is the and we also want the praise from others, saying, hey, how nice the garden is. I'm sure you will enjoy being here, working with those plants and fruits. So this is everybody, somebody who has passionate about gardening. I'm sure everybody likes that. Now, we also see weeds in the garden, my dear friends, don't we? Okay, what do we do with the weeds? And it's a smart thing to remove all the unwanted plants Why unwanted? What are weeds? Unwanted plants are weeds. What is not required for that place is all weeds. So why should we remove them? It's just a plant. Let it be there. So what? The problem is these weeds also take these nutrients to grow themselves, and which is not required, you know. So the nutrients may not go for the original plants. And that is why we say they might, the high sugar, high fat, processed food, all that may also cause damage to your health. And here we compare them with weeds. Like we don't want the weeds in the garden. We should be avoiding all this for our body also to keep ourselves healthy. Now, how do we do that? Because as I told you, it's not our intention to have these. I'm very sure this 100 days program will definitely teach us mindful eating, which every one of us are doing and at least started doing. Now, how can these go without our knowledge? That's the question. Fine? Yeah. So if I ask you to list a few ready to eat food that do not seem to be sweet but have sugar in them, can you think of something? Yes, I can think of sweetened yogurt. I can think of ice cream, though they are sweet. We do not put them in sweet category. If you see, there are some sugarless ice creams also, but still sweet. You might have seen. And we have never considered sauces and jams in the category of sweets at all. We just say, they are important for making our food palatable. So that way, without our knowledge, without our intention, there are many things which goes to our body. First, let us talk about sugar. So we might think, okay, these are common food that I'm eating, be it sauces, be it orange juice, be it a bar of sweet, chocolate, the cedar, the sauces we use, for salads we use cedar, right? Yeah. And tomato soup and strawberry yogurt, all these. But have you realized, have you ever thought how many scoops or cubes of sugar is hidden inside? For example, anytime we take any sauce, there is about 6 cubes of sugar hidden in it, and we may not be aware of it. When we take orange juice, we always think juice is very healthy, and this we proudly go and say, I've cut down on coffee and sugar, and all my breakfast today goes with the juice. Is that a original juice in the sense fresh juice, or is that a processed one? That we have to be careful. If it is made at home, we have full control over the sugar that we add. But unfortunately, when we go for the processed juice, we get in bottles, right? Or Tetra packs. We get it stored in our refrigerator. And there you see about 10 cubes of sugar in about 500 ml of orange juice. And every time you take about 100 ml, you know how much of sugar goes to your body. Fine. So 1 bar of chocolate, and very happily it's written on the label, it is sugarless chocolate. Okay. But still there is about 6.5 grams, 5 cubes of sugar. Now, if you compare that with the spoon, maybe each cube is about 5 grams and each spoon is about 5 grams. And about 30-35 grams of sugar is there in the, entire bar of chocolate. And if we complete the chocolate in one go, all the cubes in just one go, you will understand how much of sugar would have gone inside our body without our knowledge. Likewise, for cedar, like tomato soup, strawberry yogurt, and we also have for ketchup and juices, etc. Yeah. So why does this happen? Are we not aware? It's not about our awareness, my dear friends. It's also about the marketing tactics. Most of the time we read the label from the front, and most of the time we forget to read the label. We assume things. So even if we read the label, most of the time it's only in the front side of the label. We don't go to the back side of the label. Okay. So maybe from today, if we have to understand the food properly, it is a great idea to look at the content at the back side of the label and not only in the front side. When we talk about sugary cereals, my dear friends, it's all cereals, and we know they are healthy. We are talking so much about cereals. And these cereals might have their own sugar in them, fructose or sucrose, and we know them, fine. We have been using them throughout, and the taste of it, we know. But in spite of that, here the label says 54% of the permitted sugar added. Now, what is the permitted sugar? And out of that, what is that 54%? We may not understand. We only get carried away with that 54%. Okay, it's still half the sugar that is permittable. That's fine. I can manage with something else. So that is in our mind. But unfortunately, when you look back and see how much of sugar has gone in, I'm sure you will start thinking about taking this and would even try to avoid that. Okay, now coming on to fortified waters, they are excellent sources of vitamins. We are taking it for good amount of vitamins for our body. But unfortunately, there is about 64% of daily limit of added sugar. 64%. It's just a water. Do we really need sugar in water also? But it is given to make it palatable, because otherwise we may not drink that water. Fine. We sometimes even doubt whether it has the required quantity of vitamins. And to make that easy for us to understand, these companies, the marketing tactics of these companies, they write what all good things are there, and at the back, when you turn and see the label, you see there are some real harsh realities about that product. And we don't say don't take, but we say be mindful about it. Be mindful, think about it. Do you really need that? And if you really need that, then how are you going to compensate that with the regular food that you have? And how are you going to cut down on the sugar so that you are rest assured that this sugar is sufficient for your body? Fine. Yeah. Why should we think about all this, my dear friends? See, you are constructing a house and you have gone for the foundation. The foundation is very strong. And without your knowledge, one day, there's a lot of water that's poured in the cement and the sand mixture that is just constructed. They're just very, very fresh it is. And there's a whole amount of water which has come in. It's just water. There's nothing else. It's just water. But don't you think the foundation becomes loose after that in that place? The foundation is not as strong as we think of. This is exactly which happens in our gut also. And the gut becomes leaky gut, as Dr. Shyam was referring to. And this leaky gut is a gateway for all the unwanted things to get into our bloodstream. And when it gets into the bloodstream, our health is not under our control. Fine. So to control that, it is important that we take care of these things and ensure that the foundation is very, very, very strong, particularly when it comes to our gut. The same thing goes with frozen slides, and it also goes to the gummy fruit snacks, which is fat-free. It says fat-free on the label. But when you turn back and see, you will know what is the other thing that is added for fat. Okay. And also for sugar, it says 30% of the daily requirement of sugar. And today, I am not very sure how many of them know what is a daily requirement, because the daily requirement of sugar also differs from person to person. It cannot be standard because activity level changes, energy level changes. So I cannot eat the same amount of sugar that the children are eating, when they are young in the childhood, because for them, they run around everywhere. For them, the quantity of sugar that goes to the body could be high, in the sense they can digest it and they can utilize that to energy. Maybe I cannot. So these are very important things to be noted. Okay, what is wrong in having high sugar intake? What is the impact that it gives? It becomes addictive habit that can persist till adulthood. It might start with childhood. You might have heard some people saying, I have a sweet tooth. Whenever I see any sweet, I have the craving to go and have that sweet. Fine. So if that is the habit, my dear friends, we have to definitely take care of it. We don't want that to become and addict. Now, how does this addiction happens? Say example, you are in a home, you are working, and you hear the knock on the door. Okay, once or twice you just leave in the sense, yeah, definitely we will go and see. But if there are others at home, what will you do? You will assume that others might open the door and see who it is. But if it keeps on hitting on the door and you keep hearing that sound, at one point in time, what do? You leave all your work and go and open the door to see who has come or what's happened, right? This is exactly the behavior of addiction. The behavior of addiction is exactly that. So all the attention would go to this particular thing, what we are addicted to, particularly in this case, it's high sugar. Leaving all other work, the concentration of the body would go to get the sugar and process immediately, which may not be required at that point in time. At that point in time, it is not required, but still a body will start, getting into that. So that's the negative impact of addiction in our body. So negative effect on overall health is health and nutrient deficiencies, and also increased risk of all chronic diseases. All this comes with the support of sugar, high sugar in the body. We all know liver also get affected, because liver is the one which has to assimilate and process the nutrients. So liver also gets affected. Mood swing. Yes, there's a lot to do with high sugar and mood. Fine. To start with, maybe we might feel little high. We might feel good, feel good factor after taking sweet, but over a period of time, digesting it and assimilating the sugar, giving to the body, and cells taking it, converting into energy, all that becomes a very big task for the body, because it may not need so much of sugar, but we have given it stores in the body, but still, the cells will take too much of it, which might lead to inflammation also over a period of time. Sweet food can also be addictive and can result to greater depression and accelerated aging. Very fast aging happens because of high sugar intake in our body. And do they have impact on our gut? When they have the impact on the whole body, why not gut? And it all starts from the gut. It all starts from the gut. Fine. So there is imbalance in gut bacteria. We cannot expect the gut bacteria to be good bacteria, and we cannot expect, the dysbiosis, gut dysbiosis to be balanced. There is increased risk of dysbiosis in the gut, which happens. There is disruption of gut motility. So you cannot expect the gut motility to be proper. It is disrupted. It is absolutely imbalanced, and it leads to inflammation, and it leads to weight gain and obesity also. Fine. So impact of high sugar on gut health is very, very high, and less is more here. You think this is less sugar, I'm using less sugar, that is more than sufficient, because body has to use the sugar that is already there in the body, which is already there in the body. It has to use that and then come to this, and as we try to burn our calories on a daily basis, it is important that we also utilize the sugar in the body on a daily basis before we give extra to the body. So that should be the intention when we are in this journey, and of course after this also. And if we can manage for this 100 days, my dear friends, it becomes more than a habit. It becomes a way of life. And once it becomes a way of life, it's easy for us to follow. Yeah. So that was about sugar. Now, high fat. High fat. Do we really take high fat? Because we all know fat is not very good for the body. That's a basic understanding that we all have. Is high fat a bad thing? Maybe here again, I would say we are not very sure on what is the quantity of fat that we are taking. Example, my dear friends, we say salad dressing. We buy from outside. Salads are often considered a very healthy option, but the dressing which we use, the oil in it or any sausages that comes along with that, may not be of low fat, may not be, because to increase the taste, they might have added something extra which could become high fat to us. Processed snacks, many processed food claim to be low fat but are high in sugar content as well as fat content. Some varieties of hidden fats are all there in the food that we take, and we have to essentially read the label to take care of them. Sugar-free ice cream. Remember, I keep telling this, it's ice cream, and still they say it is sugar-free, and sugar-free cookies, ice cream and cookies. Yes, sweetened with sugar, but the substitutes of artificial sweetener would be used, and this is even more dangerous. My dear friends, I mean it, it's even more dangerous because we cannot measure the quantity of sugar that is added here. And our body should accept this kind of sugar. We never know. So that way, it is dangerous. Restaurant meals, parties, and weddings. When we go there, we know all the dishes are prepared with added fat, oil, sausages, because they are cooking for too many people. And they want to make it as palatable as possible and as tasty as possible, so that they get repeated orders, they get repeated customers. Once in a while, it's still fine. But regularly, if we start using it, our gut becomes a leaky gut, and that leads to so many problems in our health. Dairy products. These provide essential nutrients, but also contain hidden fat. Particularly when we go to, yogurt, sweetened yogurt, or any dairy product for that matter, it has its own fat, which we may not be aware of. So the important tip here is read full label, like food label should be fully read. What I mean by that, not only in the front side, also the back side of the label. Be aware of portion sizes, what is the quantity that you are taking, and within that quantity, how much of sugar, how much of fat comes in, and select the meal and snack properly, and let it be a replacement, of what you're going to take. Once in a while, it's still fine. But if it is an addition to what you are regularly taking, then these are true burdens for your health, absolute burden for your health. Yeah. Yes. Now, a little more on fat. Do we think all fat are bad? We all know, we all are from Nutrilite. We have heard even in Nutrilite, they say not all fat are bad. We have amazing examples for good fat. So fat can be divided into two, good fat and bad fat. Fine. And in the good fat, there are many things that comes. And in the bad fat also, there is saturated and unsaturated. Anything that gets frozen in the room temperature is called saturated fat. Example, vanaspati. And anything that stays as liquid, even in the room temperature, is said to be unsaturated fat, which is like more of our cooking oils. Yeah, fine. Now, talking about good fat, when we take a list of good fat and try to eat, every time we cannot depend on avocado. Avocado is the best example for good fat. Amazing example for good fat. But I'm sure every time we cannot only depend on avocados. So eggs, coconut oil, raw nuts, olive oil, salmon, flax seeds, and leafy green vegetables, organic butter, organic nut oil are the great examples of good fat that can be added to our diet. Talking about bad fat, margarine, French fries, donuts, cookies, pastries, crackers, canola oil, hydrogenated oil, and processed meats, all these are examples of bad fat. Now, coming on to high fat versus gut health. Do they impact our gut? Yes, they make digestion slower. They also have a great impact on gut microbiota, meaning the good bacteria and the bad bacteria present in the gut, the environment for the good bacteria to grow in the gut, that is absolutely disturbed. Increased risk of gut inflammation. Gut itself becomes inflamed and very difficult for the microbes to stay there. Then it also has altered gut motility, and bile production and absorption from the gut, slows down. So the blood may not get what is required for it, which can be transferred to the cells. So the cells become weak. And when the cells become weak, our body becomes tired and it's not healthy. Fine. So all these are the impact of high fat in our body. What do you think is food processing? And do you think processed food is bad? Yes, everybody will say it is bad. Everybody will say it is bad. We all know that. What is processed food? Most of the time, the food that comes in packs, pre-packed, okay, and ready to eat food. Ready to eat. We need not do anything. We just have to open the pack and take, like chips, packed juices, bread, so many other sweet breads, fruit bread, so many other. These are also food, which we can rely upon. But are they bad? Yes. Why are they bad? Now, my dear friends, when you look at this bread, what do you think of immediately? If I have to ask you, why is it bad? Very first thing that you will think is it's maida. It's a processed food, or it's a, it's not a complex carbohydrate. It's a simple carbohydrate. Now that you know all that, fine. So you give a number of reasons. But beyond that, do you go and see how much of fat is added, butter or oil, or what is added there? Do you go and see how much of sugar is added for this one loaf of bread? Fine. We don't think of all that at all. So when we start doing our mindful eating, our mind will start processing these information also. Is that right to take one slice of bread, or can I go for 2 more slices? Is all that your mind start thinking. Apart from that, they also lack nutrient. They give empty calories. They have artificial additives, which are not good for health. They do not support your digestive health and impact them. The microbiome in the gut is also imbalanced. They are addictive in nature. You can't stop with one. If the bread is sweet and you want to, even stop with one, you can't. The craving is more there. And there are many hidden ingredients which we may not know with just the label. But if we start thinking on what all could be added to make it as tasty as it is, we'll understand a lot of hidden ingredients which are there. Yeah? Okay. Now coming on to a very big myth. I have heard people saying that, 1 or 2 pegs of alcohol on a regular basis is still fine. And science permits that. No, do you think how many calories alcohol contain? Do we know that? Just 1 gram of alcohol in any terms has about approximately 7 calories. 7 calories. Okay. So they are too much in calories, too much. And nobody stops with 1 pegs or 2 pegs once they start taking it. It's actually adult, it is calorie dense and it's not good for the health at all in any form, alcohol in any form. So alcohol disturbs sleep. It impacts on memory. We know that. It has all the nutritional deficiencies. Many nutritions are not added in that. So it has nutritional deficiencies, though they claim it is cholesterol free and all that. Increased risk of accidents because it really takes our mind from us. Increased vulnerability to all the diseases. So it could be the foundation for so many diseases to set in, because this is the first thing which leads to inflammation in the body and fatal alcohol spectrum disorders, which you can see in the newborns. When the child is in the womb and the mother takes so much of alcohol, there are some disorders that sets in when the child is in the womb. So that is very dangerous, and it has its own effect on heart. Heart rate goes up, your blood pressure goes up, and so many other things happen in the body. You're not healthy as such. So harsh reality of smoking. We saw about alcohol, and everybody knows alcohol is bad. Now coming on to smoking. When we talk about smoking, there is impact on physical appearance. Second-hand smoking is even more dangerous, we know, and there are a lot of health risk. There is accelerated aging process because the person who smokes not only smokes for himself, when the smoke comes out, it is going to affect everybody. There's impaired metabolism and nutrient absorption in the body, decreased microbial diversity, and composition of microbiome is also altered. So it is very dangerous. Even, a person smokes as a not a primary smoker, but then the other person also get affected. So my dear friends, it is not only going to affect our gut, it is going to affect our liver, heart, pancreas, kidney, and brain. So as a conclusion, what I come to say here is choose wellness over sweetness. So less is more here when it comes to sugar. Say no to high fat food. From farm to fork is always better. Like we say, seed to supplement. From farm to fork is always better. So raise the bar of self-love. You start loving yourself. You quit all this, meaning somebody who is doing, outside, not our Amway distributor. I know. Free your lungs and reclaim your life. Quit smoking today. And with these, I'm sure we can have a very great health and understand the harsh reality. They are part of life, and eliminating them to keep ourselves healthy is in our hands. So mindful eating has to be adopted. So to talk about the activity of the day, share a picture of your healthier alternatives. I've been using this for some time. Now I have found an alternative. Example, I've been buying the sauce from outside or jam from outside. Now I started doing on my own and share the recipe. We'll be happy to receive that. Thank you so much, and back to host.
Thank you. Thank you, Lakshmi. Thanks a lot for all the informations and what she has discussed about a few very important things like the hidden sugar, hidden fat. We need to read the label properly, right? And brands, they very smartly display that, yes, the food is nutritious, but actually it is not. It is like that stingy man who was very fond of his money, and he always wished that I will take all the money with me after my death, and he instructed his wife that when I die, please put all the money with me. And in front of the lawyer, he made sure that she will do that. So after his death, when his wife, took him to the cemetery. So after she came out, the lawyer asked, "Have you put all the money?" No. So that was the instruction. So the wife said, yes, I have done that. It was his last wish. So I had to honor that. So the lawyer said, "How you did that? I mean, he had so much of money. So how you fit all the money in the burner?" Wife said, "No, I had a smart tarika. I wrote a check and I put it in the pocket before I took him to the burner." So the brand actually do like that. They smartly writes that, yes, the food is nutritious, but actually the way they serve the food, it is not very healthy. It does not serve the purpose actually. And for that, we need to read the label very carefully. We need to choose our meal very carefully. We need to be very cautious before we go for the alternates, right? So we have to find out alternates which are good, right? We have to opt for the good fat or the good food that will be helpful for us. So before further delay, Minal is here. So I would like to hand over the stage to Minal so that she can help you move your body a bit, right? So over to Minal. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Vikram.
Thank you,
Hello,
Minal.
everyone. Good morning and a very warm welcome to today's session. So let's get started. We're going to start with some warm-up poses, and post that we'll have some asanas, and all again concentrated to our gut health. And when we talk about gut health, we are actually talking about the most important part of our body, which is like a powerhouse, the solar plexus. Okay, it's not only physically governing, like whatever food are you eating, how well is getting digested, how well it is getting assimilated throughout, but also how you are using those energies. So every time we initiate the gut reset asanas and we increase the blood flow like that to the gut, you are actually taking care of things not only physically, but also mentally and spiritually. Yeah, great. So let's get started with some warm-up poses. I want you to sit nice and tall in Sukhasana. Take your core in as you exhale. Now inhale and bring it all out. Expand as you inhale. Exhale. Let go. Inhale. Exhale. And inhale. Exhale. And relax. Keep your both the palms onto the knees. This time, as you inhale, you're gonna roll your shoulders back, open up your chest, and also shift your head back. Keep your eyes open if you feel dizzy. And in the second variation, we'll also move your hands. But as of now, just get this deep breath in. Exhale and shift. Relax and back with the inhale. This time, push your both the palms under your hips. Yes. Now roll your shoulders back. Lift your chest out. And with deep exhale, level. Look up. And one last time. Inhale. Fill it up, fill it up. And then exhale. So simple deep breathing, but you are also releasing all the stress which get built up around your shoulders, neck, jawline, temples, forehead. So these three simple deep breaths will set you free. Yeah. So during the day, whenever you find time, get into 3 deep breaths and lengthen your spine, not the forward, but slightly back. There doesn't have to be too much of a push, but something which actually just opens you. Inhale up and then exhale to the side. Lengthen. Inhale up and then exhale to the side. Again, lengthen. Stretch. Inhale up and exhale to the side. Inhale up and then exhale to the side. Again, back to the center. We'll do basic twisting. Inhale in, and then as you exhale, you're going to twist. So firstly, just to the side, if you feel okay, and then to the back. But the twist will come right from your spine movement by not lifting your knees. Inhale, center. Exhale, twist, and hip. Inhale, center. Exhale, twist, and stretch. Inhale, center, and exhale, twist. Let's do the butterfly. Hold, switch, and stretch out. Okay. So we're going to do some different poses today. Let's start with the fish pose. Okay. It's again a great pose in which we open up again all three. Manipura, the solar plexus, your heart, and Vishuddhi. So we're going to open up all these three. We'll also do Ustrasana, which is a camel pose. Again, we open up all the three. Yeah. Very simplest poses. We're going to break it down, and anywhere if you feel that it is pressing and stretching, maybe your knees or your spine, you are allowed to keep extra cushioning. In fact, I guide you how to. Okay. So your both the feet are together, and we'll keep them together like this. Squeeze, lengthen, and down on the mat. Now, when you are down on the mat, I still want you to keep your feet in the butterfly pose together. Your hips open, your knees out. Just understand the movement of the fish. Okay. Now, I want you to keep your both the palms facing down under your hips here. The idea is to open up and lift right from your core to your chest to your neck over, and your crown chakra right here on the top of your head will be on the mat. Okay, so if you have tied up your hair, you can just let them open, because I want your crown chakra to hit the mat. So squeeze, lift, and up. So you're lifting it all up, and then the crown chakra on the mat. And hold it here. You can keep adjusting your position, get better every time you sit by. The idea is to keep it all open and for a little longer. Take a nice deep inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And then exhale. Shift down, and your hands also down, and relax your legs out. Let's do it again. If you find this way of doing it like difficult with your legs in the butterfly, you can also just keep your legs nice and tall. But with the butterfly, the engagement is better because you're also initiating your root chakra. Okay. So the idea is, again, you can keep your legs nice and tall. Your hands palms down under your hips. Squeeze your elbows together so that you can support your spine as you rise up and back. If this is very simple, then squeeze your legs in butterfly. And then again, try to hold it for 3. Deep inhale and exhale. Idea is to look up and then back. If you feel dizzy, do not close those eyes. Keep them nice and wide and open. Hold it here. And then slowly get down on it. Relax up. Let's do the reverse. Pavan Muktasana. Inhale, lift your one knee in, squeeze. As you exhale, you can rise up. Or if you find it difficult, you can just keep the legs squeezed. And then back. The idea is to again initiate your core. Inhale, squeeze, and then as you exhale, lengthen. We're going to hold it for a nice deep inhale and exhale. And then back. Both the knees this time. Inhale. And then as you exhale, squeeze. You can also roll side to side, stretching your lower lumbar spine, relaxing up and down. We'll do simple spine twisting poses. We'll start with both the legs together, but perpendicular. Hands open, stretch to the side. And release. Again, inhale, back to the center. Exhale to the side. And look back. Back to the center as you inhale and down. This time, we're going to rise up. Always remember, no matter how healthy your spine is, even if you had a good night's sleep, you'll never rise up like this. Bend your knees slightly, take a side turn and rise up. The most safest and the simplest way of rising up. You know, your spine, when it is in a rested state, you cannot jerk it. Most of the times your injuries happen like you're sitting and typing and doing some stuff on your system and you need a file from somewhere far. Please get up and go and pick that file. Okay. Your body is absolutely soft right now. Okay. In a very cool down state. And then suddenly you remember that file is needed and you jerk it up and want to pick and here it goes. Don't do this. Okay, let's go down in our next pose, which is the camel pose. I'm going to give you a few preparatory poses for that. So, idea is that the knees will be on the mat. Okay, so we'll be kneeling. So, if anybody has a problem around the knees, you need a lot of cushioning. Okay, soft cushioning right under the mat. So, it could be you have your cushions, or you can just roll down your mat 3-4 times. Okay. Just bring your knees together, your knees hip width apart and your legs in length with that. So remember, like I always say, that whenever you are doing these poses, they are all about engagement of the muscles and not pushing it out or flaring up. Okay. So here also, when you are doing camel pose or Ustrasana, you do not have to push yourself forward. You have to engage and open up. Okay. Firstly, just do it with one hand to understand your comfort, and then we'll do both the hands. A nice deep inhale. Massage your spine. As you exhale, you're gonna rub your spine nice with both the palms. Relax up. Again, a nice deep inhale. As you exhale, your one hand, only one hand to the heel and stretch back. See how far you can stretch back. See, in this movement, I'm not pushing forward. But am I stretching? Yes. My heart chakra, my Manipura chakra, my navel chakra, all are open. I'm just stretching back. But engaging, yes. My glutes engage, yes. My quads, hamstrings, there's full pressure here. Yeah, so it's not just about pushing, it's actually about engagement and doing it the right way. Again, let's do it to the other side. You're gonna squeeze a nice deep inhale, lengthen that spine, engage your muscles first, and then if you feel comfortable, you will go back only to the level from where you can get back. Okay? Only to the level. No. slowly bring it all back. Comfortable? Now let's take both the hands back. So inhale. Exhale. You're going to exhale, then again. See, you are not just pressing your spine, you are also engaging your core. So anybody with a spine inflamed, try to do it very soft, slow, and then back. Relax up. Shoulders rolled back. Chest lifted out. Core engaged. Spine supported. Glutes engaged. Quads, hamstrings, calves. Bring your attention all at here. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Slowly. Support and exhale. So never come back from your poses jerking up. Relax. Go back in a child pose to relax down. Child. Your hips down to the ankles. Lengthen the spine down to the mat. And take a deep breather. Relax. From here, as you inhale, we'll rise up on the force. Tap your core in. We'll do cow and a cat stretch. So why the name cow and a cat stretch? Because they actually look like this when they do it. So now when you see a cat stretching, you'll see that it actually moves it right from the pelvis down and then you stretch up. And just like a cow, in, pull the navel in and up. Again, out, lengthen. Exhale and in. Tuck it as in as possible. Exhale. Again, inhale. Exhale. From here, bring it all back straight. And then as you inhale, and then as you exhale, stretch. Relax up. This is very relaxing after camel pose. So it's very important that when you do one kind of poses, you actually stretch your body back in the opposite direction with different set of poses. So lengthen your hands out, stretch, navel nicely tucked in, a nice big smile to your face. To the other side. Inhale, in, and exhale, out. And again, back to the center and down mat. Bridge pose, Setu Sarvangasana will also stretch back in that. So you can have your feet just touching your finger. Core engaged, a nice deep inhale. And then as you exhale, you're going to stretch it out again. Tuck the navel in, squeeze all the muscle group and see how far you can stretch. If possible, dovetail your both the fingers, hold it here and stretch. Remember, in the bridge pose, you will never look up. You will have your eyes to the legs, your chin tucked to the chest. And that's how you hold. Chin to the chest, eyes to the legs, core engaged, navel engaged, glutes up, quads, calf muscles, all engaged. Your spine is rested, knees, ankles, all rested. Chin digged in the chest. Hold it here. Few seconds. Few more. So holding a pose doesn't mean that you're gonna hold your breath. You actually get better with your breath here. So you're actually engaging. So you actually getting better with your breath when you are breathing in and breathing out. And it's not about like you holding a pose, you stop breathing and you're not, watching your breath. So take another one. A nice deep inhale. Exhale. And get back. Each and every vertebrae down to the mat. So we did a lot of quad movement today, a lot of stretch to the quads. So we do one basic pose to release it all. We call it happy hips pose. So I want you to bring your knees up perpendicular to begin with. And once you are all up, then you're going to stretch it to the side. But again, that range of motion has to be something which you are able to carry all along. Don't push yourself too hard. So perpendicular and then in. You can hold it from the heels. You can hold it from the center of the feet. Anywhere you feel more comfortable with and stretch it out. That's the name, happy hips. We're going to lengthen it to one side, get back to the center, then lengthen it to the other side, get back to the center, lengthen it to one side, get back to the center, to the other side, center, other side, center, other side, center, and center. Hold it here. Chin to the chest. Relax up. So you see each and every vertebrae of your spine is on the mat. You're pushing your knees in, opening up your root chakra. You're also engaging your solar plexus, Manipura chakra. And what else is happening? You're releasing all your stiffness. If you're sitting on the tables for long 5-6 hours, this pose will release it all. Plus, we store a lot of emotions around your hips. So when you do this, you feel very light and relaxed. Slowly get it down. Another beautiful stretch to release the quads and the tight hips. Figure 4 or figure 8 stretch. You're gonna pull this ankle over to the knee. Hold and stretch. Okay. Now here in this stretch, you are engaging the glutes and quads for both the legs. This is the simplest way of doing it. But if you can and there is no pain in the knee, you can press up and stretch deeper. Hold. Again, I keep talking to you, so I look side. Make sure your chin is nicely tucked in. You'll not push it up like this. Chin tuck. Keep your eyes down to the legs and stretch. Same to the other side. You're gonna press, hold, lengthen. This feels comfortable. See if you can press it further down, increase the intensity and lengthen. You can have your toes pointed, you can tuck your toes in, you can have your toes pointed, you can tuck your toes in, just stretch. See how far you can stretch. This will also bring that stretch down. And then pointed, and then stretched, and then pointed, and then stretch. Relax up. So releasing. Yeah, it actually let go of all the pressure from all the basic chakras. Let's go into Shavasana for a while. Right from the toes to your head. You're gonna let go of the physical body and the weight. Feel the lightness of your being, get one with your breath. That's actually the easiest way to feel it all. And then just end up becoming that one bundle of energy vibrating. Everything else around you, just find it all dissolving here. Slowly bring your consciousness back, moving your fingertips, moving your toes. Slide to the side and then rise up. I know that was too short a Shavasana. But we have to follow the timelines. You can actually lie down in a Shavasana for a little longer post our sessions and enjoy the very feel and the very vibe you create all around. Carry it throughout the day. Stay happy, keep chilling, have a good, nutritious food. Enjoy, and I'm going to see you back. Bye. Take care.
Thank you, Meenal. Thank you. Thanks a lot. And thank you all the participants who are there with us in YouTube, in Zoom. So I would like to say that yes, today was a compact session with a lot of knowledge, a lot of exercises, right? So tomorrow again we'll meet at same time for the English session at 7 a.m. in the morning live, and 6:30 a.m. in the morning for Hindi live session. And if someone has missed or someone has joined a little bit late, for you, the recorded sessions will be there. So you can access the recording from 8:30 a.m. till 11 p.m. in the evening. And you can find the links for the recorded session in your groups, right? So please join the session if you have missed anything. Right. So with this, I would like to call it a day. So Vikram Devnath, your host, signing off. Thank you very much.